Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope your day is going extremely well. Today I'll explain to you everything you want to know about the new rework of Valkyr, where you can get her, how to build her, and even take it to the level cap. So let's start with how to get her. Simply, tomorrow, the 19th of July, you watch the live stream between 4:30 PM till 6 PM and you get it for free, or you can farm her relics and get it like any other prime warframe. Before we head into how to build her, let's explain what do you need to know about Valkyr, and let's listen to Pablo.
On the lower right you can see that indicator there for melee damage. That is like your rage meter. As you attack enemies or as you kill enemies or get finishers, that gives you even more, this bar builds up and gives you melee damage. So if we go over here, so you see as I start attacking, it starts building up the meter down there for your rage. It also does one more thing, but I'm not going to talk about it just yet. I'm going to save that for a little bit. So that is how that works. Then if I want to move around, I can use her one. As you can see now, her one actually moves significantly faster, and it actually kind of doesn't stop midway. It used to be that essentially it would just take you a little bit of the way and then just let you be. Now it actually moves along with you. The other thing it does, if you cast it on an enemy, it actually gathers enemies down for you to be able to knock them down. So you can use it as not only it's like a more aggressive version. So instead of pulling the enemies to you, pulls you to the enemy, and then you can just start whacking on them. Warcry was already a pretty solid ability, but we did do some changes. Now you can cast it while you move, as you can see. Now you don't have to stop. You can now recast it, so you don't no longer have to wait for it to be over to be able to cast it. And it's now affinity range, so that means any allies that are within affinity range will now get it. Also, if they leave the range and then come back, they'll get the buff again. So before it was kind of a pain in the ass because you have to like cast it at the very beginning of the mission. So now you have like more flexibility with that. For your 3 paralysis, we did a few changes. It no longer requires you to lose your shield. So as you can see, my shields are still there. And you can see now he has the vulnerability bar, but it disappears if I switch to my range. So that is only melee vulnerability. That means all your melee attacks do more damage to them, and that also applies for other allies. So if you cast this on enemies and then other allies use their melee on them, the enemies will take more damage. It also slows down enemies. That used to be in Warcry, but in Warcry it was kind of useless because it would only do it at the beginning, and generally Warcry you kind of try to maintain it. So now we move that into paralysis, and then you can basically start whacking them with it. And now the biggest one, Hysteria. Don't panic this first little bit. It's gonna be scary, but it's gonna be fine, I promise you. In Hysteria, you no longer become fully invulnerable. You now can't take damage during it. So the reason for this is a lot of the mechanics that she had, such as extra armor from Warcry, being one of the warframes with the most armor in the game, those kind of didn't matter when you were totally invulnerable. It also had this whole section where at the end of it you could die if you hadn't done like a certain process that was very confusing for most players. So a lot of people would just end up like, once they were running out of energy, they would just hide in a closet and just wait it out, which was pretty bad. So we really didn't like how that was working, so we changed it, so now you are vulnerable during it. But you are pretty durable, and the claws now do significantly more damage. Oh, so actually this is great. Here comes Stormin to show me. Okay, the lighting on this tile is kind of broken, but don't mind me. So, where are you? So there's Stormin. You can see he wasn't long for this world. So let's start with what changed in terms of survivability. We increased the base health and armor of Valkyr just in general. We also made it so the buff from Warcry, which increases your armor by 50%, triples that bonus when you're in Hysteria, so you have way more armor. And lastly, the last part that I kind of talked about with her passive is that if you are above a threshold, and we're still experimenting with where that threshold is, when you take lethal damage, it actually consumes your rage and saves you so you don't die. So you basically have a get out of jail free card there. Since paralysis no longer consumes your shield, that means that you now have shield gate available at most times, so that also protects you. You're not at risk like you were before. So all of this combined, the fact that when you do damage with Hysteria, you heal, so take some damage, and then when I do damage, I immediately healed it up, right? So As long as you're attacking things, you're healing a lot, you have a bajillion armor, so you're in pretty good shape.
Let's head to the build. I'm using 3 Tau Violet shards for more melee critical damage, 2 green shards to stripped armor. If you didn't unlock the helmets yet, don't worry, the build will still works. This is my Valkyr build. I'm using Vaseline so I can stack my melee crescendo. So yep, I did use melee crescendo on my Valkyr talons, and this is the build. Note, you can also use a melee duplicate, it will boost your damage even further, but I already hit the damage cap with the melee crescendo, so adding more damage will not make any difference. Honestly, Crescendo Arcane is better than duplicate, especially for the builds that rely heavily on a combo count. This is my Cedo build, and my secondary is the Kubanoko for slow down the enemies and prime them, and my melee is the Vinka Prime, which hit almost the damage cap. This one is optional because you will one-shot anything with your Valkyr talons anyway. And the focus tool that I did use in this video was the Vaseline for more survivability. So let's head to the recap bar. How to deal the damage. First, use your Vaseline to gather the enemies, stack your melee crescendo for your Vinka and your talons. And don't worry, even if the Demolisher close your ability or your skill, you will still have the combo for your talons. Hit the enemies with your Cedo to add 10x viral stats, and stripped armor with your Kubanoko. Use your Nourish for more viral damage, or Cry for more attack speed, and the Paralysis to slow down the enemies and makes them more vulnerable to the melee damage. Then use your Hysteria to summon your talons. Hit a heavy attack, and that's how you hit a damage cap. Don't worry, these tips will not be hard for you because I did use the augment, so your second will not be closed and your fall also will not be closed because Arcane Energize and Nourish will boost your energy. And also I wanna say you don't need to do all this build up to kill the enemies, this build just to hit the damage cap. So what is about the survivability? In my setup I did use Rolling Guard because it provides 3 seconds of invulnerability, Valkyr passive which makes me immortal when melee damage meter is above 150%, so when you get any damage that will kill you, you will get a second life with a 5 seconds of invulnerability. And also I'm using secondary fortifier from my Kubanoko. It's really good because it gives me overguard. Anyway, that's it for me. If you liked the video or learned something new, don't forget to like and subscribe. Have fun guys, goodbye.